The following is a presentation of William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The World Baseball Classic is finally back. Here to break down everything from the worldwide tournament in the world of baseball, we have Anthony, Marc, Joe, and John. You know, Marc, the World Baseball Classic can be defined as a big show, if you will, and one of the biggest shows in the World Baseball Classic is none other than Shohei Ohtani himself. So, best player in the Angels, arguably the best player in baseball. What kind of difference is he going to make for Team Japan?
You know, I mean, he didn't win MVP last year. I'd probably give, Judge is probably the best player in the MLB. But, Shohei Ohtani, phenomenal season in 2022. 273 average, 34 home runs, 166 innings pitched, 233 ERA. I had to collect my words there. 219 strikeouts. I mean, he could do it all. We know this. Phenomenal player, one of the best in the world. Should propel Japan pretty far into the tournament.
Yeah, definitely going to help them make contenders. John, what do you think about Ohtani?
I mean, yeah, he didn't make MVP last year, but I do personally think, and you can disagree with me on this, that he's the anomaly of the title of dual threat.
Of course.
He can do both. We all know that he can do both. It's very obvious. And as much as I'm excited to see him in this tournament, I am excited to see other people as well, to see who may be able to outshine Shohei.
Anthony, what do you think about Shohei?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's undisputed. He is the best player in this tournament. Without a doubt, he's great, and he's supported by a great team with Yu Darvish, with Munetaka Murakami, who we're going to get to later. He can pitch. He pitched a great game against China the other day. He hit a big-time double that scored a run. He will have a huge, huge impact in this tournament. And if Japan wins, he's going to be the reason why.
He had a big home run on one knee the other day in the exhibition. That was very cool to see. Joe.
Listen, despite playing for a mediocre Angels team in MLB, but how much he means to the Japan team. We talk about numbers, stats, and all that, but how about what he means to the people of Japan? When you go to the Tokyo Dome, how electric the environment is. When people come to see him and the Japan team play, it's nothing but, an excitement, offensive power. And when he's on the mound, pumping over 95, close to 100 miles per hour, it's electrifying and exciting to see that from a player like him, who's a dual-threat pitcher and hitter as well, like how you said, John. So for him in Japan, he's going to be a difference maker for this team, and he's going to be, the producer in the house to really get them far in this WBC tournament.
Yeah, the fan base, those Japanese fans, they adore Shohei, like a superhero there, if you will. So, big-time star there. And there's a lot of stars in other countries as well. A lot of guys, big X Factors, look to make a push for their country. Joe, I'll keep it with you. Which player are you most excited to watch?
Listen, from the islands of Puerto Rico, I'm going to go with Francisco Lindor. He's on my favorite team, obviously, the New York Mets. So he got 270 batting average, 26 home runs, 107 RBIs. 760 OPS. This is the best season he had so far with the Mets in his first 2 years with the team. But he's going to be a difference maker as well for Puerto Rico. He's one of the veteran guys. He's also one of the top hitters as well on the team. Yeah,
going to be one of their leaders, like you said. Switching back great in the great fielding. Anthony, who are you looking out for?
I want you to remember this name, Munetaka Murakami. He is a stud. Look at his numbers from the NPB last year: a 318 average, 56 home. That's not a typo. 56 home runs, 134 RBIs. 458 on-base percentage and OPS almost at 1.200. He is insane, and he's only 23 years old. This is a guy in his career in Japan. He's at 177 home runs. He's going to be posted soon, so remember that name. He'll be making his way to the majors soon. But he is right up there with Ohtani as a stalwart offensive threat on this Japan team.
Yeah, that lineup is a lot deeper than just Shohei. He's one of the reasons why. John, who are you looking out for?
I talked about people who are going to outshine Shohei. And I think Jung-Hoo Lee is going to be one of those people. And then we can look at his stats right now. Games, he has 142 games. His batting average is at almost 350, 349. 23 home runs, on-base percentage, 421, I had to collect my words, and 5 stolen bases. His father actually played in the KBO, the Korea Baseball League organization, And his nickname was Son of the Wind. And now his name, Grandson of the Wind. And as a outfield enthusiast, I really want to see what he can do in this tournament.
That is interesting. I definitely would not have known that. Marc, close us out for your standout player for this tournament.
I'm going to go with someone that we all know, maybe love, maybe not, I don't know. Newly acquired Padres shortstop Xander Bogaerts. 2022 hit 307, 15 home runs, 73 RBIs, 833 OPS. And, he's a decent fielder, 98%. That's not too shabby. 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time World Series champion. He's a really good player. We know this. I know this from, years as a Yankees fan, seeing him on the Red Sox. But, ultimately, I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do for this Netherlands team.
Yeah, great all-around hitter is Bogaerts. shirts. Those Netherlands jerseys are very beautiful.
They are nice.
I love that crown and the hat. They're very cool. I wanted to point that out. But Anthony, talk about star players. Maybe some teams that are sleepers as well. Some of those players might represent some of these sleeper teams outside of like the United States that are obviously a heavy favorite. So which team do you expect to kind of sneak up on people?
You know what I love about the show, Jimmy? We keep it consistent. So we finished with Bogarts, who's playing on Team Netherlands. We're going to keep it with Team Netherlands. They are my sleeper team. And I love what every tournament, I was about to say every year. It's not every year, but every tournament, the Netherlands make it far. They surprise people. No one really like knows a lot about them. And then you watch them and you say, oh, they got some pretty good players, you know? Bogarts, Didi, Jonathan Scope, Jurickson Profar is on that team. And their pitching is pretty solid as well. They had this guy that pitched in the first game, Franklin Van Gerp, throwing absolute frisbees. I had never heard of this guy in my life, throwing absolute darts from the right-hand side. The Netherlands are going to be very good this year. They already won their first 2 games. They're probably going to make it to the next round. Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, off to a great start. And that's one thing you like about teams like Netherlands. You get to familiar people and faces and exciting to watch, people you never really heard of before. Mark, which team do you think could surprise some?
Call me crazy, but the Czech Republic, I'm gunning for them. I'm telling you right now.
It
I
is
will
crazy.
pound the table for the Czech Republic. You know, they just beat China. They had a good game. You know, walk-off homer, I'll take it, man. Czech Republic, I think, could surprise some people. I don't care how many of them have second jobs as doctors, nurses, whatever it may be. I think they can go, you know, decent amount in this tournament.
Might be a little bit crazy, but I'll
I don't care.
Throw it over to Joe now.
Listen, I'm gonna go up on my listener 1 and 2 so far in the standings, but you know, they're a team that has some MLB players in there. Former MLB player Ruben Tejada, he's probably the star name on that roster as well. Guys like Ivan Herrera, who might be the heir for Yadier Molina on the Cardinals, and also to top off the headliner for their pitching, hard-thrower Colorado Rocky Justin Lawrence, who's also on that pitching roster. So there's a lot of guys. Well, also Christian Bancourt and Jonathan Uraz, other guys who can hit the ball in this Panama lineup. So it might not be eye surprising in this whole classic, but it's definitely a team that can make some damage.
And they've already seen them make a couple of web gems already in their tournament. Ruben Tejada's made a couple of nice plays at shortstop. John, who's your Cinderella story?
I'm going to go with my roots and say Italy. And I think with the help of
Homer pick.
Let's see if I can get this name right. Vinny Pasquantino, also nicknamed the Italian Nightmare, which I wish my nickname was, and the management of someone like Mike Piazza, I think they're gonna make a good run.
I don't know. Maybe we'll call you the Italian Dream. I don't know if you're quite a nightmare, John.
The Dream. I like the Dream.
I think Nightmare's fair.
I think Nightmare's great.
Yeah?
I love Nightmare. That's great.
Definitely repping the Italian with that mustache over there.
Good. It's great.
It's great. Let's get to our final predictions. John, I'll keep it with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, talking about sleepers, talking about standout players. We got to pick the winner, who we think is going to win this whole thing. So, who is your big winner for the World Baseball Classic when it's all said and done?
My big winner is Anthony's sleeper, Netherlands, and I believe that with Xander Bogaerts, they have the strongest middle defense in the tournament. All right, and also with the solid offense from Bogaerts, Didi, Jonathan Scope, they're going to have a huge run and going to be able to win it all this tournament.
That would be quite the prediction. Mark, where are you going?
You call his pick a homer pick. This is even more of a homer pick. I'm going, my United States. I really love the hitting. The lineup is really what sells me on this team. The pitching maybe leaves a little bit to be desired, especially with Nestor not being in there anymore. But ultimately, I do think they can get the job done.
Yeah, guys like Trey Turner and JT Realmuto are at the bottom of the order. It's really crazy to see. Joe, who's taking it home?
I'm taking another homer pick, man. Listen, para las Boricuas, mi equipo Puerto Rico. Listen, they might not be the strongest roster compared to DR and US, but guys like Lindor, Javi Baez, Eddie Rosario, Ramos, this is a team that still has a lot of talent. A lot of guys on this team are also from the MLB, right? Current roster as well. I think they have a shot to really make it far, and I do like their pitching staff as well.
Oh, Mr. Belleville, that just rolled off the tongue. That Puerto Rico, I can't do that. Certainly cannot. We'd love to see it, Joe. Anthony,
Joe,
close out.
Before I go, Joe, I respect the homer pick. Puerto Rico's got no shot. My pick, my pick is Japan. I'm sorry. My pick is Japan. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Japan.
That's
all
not
the
a
way.
homer pick.
That's not a homer
I've
pick.
been
I
hyping
only
up-
heard just a homer pick, but you.
What?
Do you have Japanese roots?
I don't have Japanese roots, but I respect the talent on Japan.
Where's your kimono?
What?
Where's your kimono?
I like Shohei Ohtani, Murakami, Masataka Yoshida, Yu Darvish. That is so hot. That's too hot to handle. It doesn't roll off the tongue. But they are gonna. They are in a loaded pool too with Venezuela, with Puerto Rico to an extent. But they are in a loaded pool. It's gonna be a very, very. Or I'm sorry, they're not in that pool, but they're in a different pool.
Yeah, they're in a different pool.
They're in a
I was
different pool. I stumbled my words.
No,
They are with the Czech Republic though. Give me, which is Marc's sleeper team.
Yeah.
Give me Japan in the finals. They're going all the way.
Walker, no one's as hot as you with that bow tie. But one team
Feel
I will
frisky.
like to point out that I think deserves some attention is the Dominican Republic. No one really, we haven't really.
They're the ones in the team in the pool with.
They're in the pool, Puerto Rico,
and
Nicaragua, Israel, and
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yes.
And didn't mention much. Obviously, Manny Machado, Sandy Alcantara, Rafael Devers,
they lost Vlad.
Julio
That
Rodriguez.
hurts.
They lost Vlad. That hurts. That lineup is very,
Still low lineup. Yeah.
definitely the most comparable lineup. Them in Japan prior to the United States. So keep an eye out for them. And as we keep an eye out for the World Baseball Classic, our eyes and our attention will be focused on the Nears, WP softball and baseball as they head to Florida. Keep it locked here with Andrew Balistreri and the guys.